Terrebonne Parish loses an average of a football field of land every 5 hours. For every 2.7 miles of wetlands in front of a levee, storm surge is reduced by an additional foot. The ecological importance of Louisiana's wetlands is found mainly in its fisheries, wildlife, and waterfowl populations. Louisiana wetland loss could cost the nation over $36.6 billion from lost public use value over the next 50 years.
You know, this may be my best idea yet, bringing the good fishing spot right to our own backyard.
I don't know, honey. Aren't you worried about water getting into the house?
That's what the pond is for, to hold the water.
All right, well, don't you need a permit for this?
Permit to dig a fish pond?
Call the Office of Coastal Restoration and Preservation before beginning any operations or activities on or near water resources. Your activities may require a coastal use permit. The Office of Coastal Restoration and Preservation for the parish has two main objectives. One is to restore the land that we've lost over time, and the other is to guide residents through the permitting process to ensure that we can protect the resources that still remain.
One of the remarkable things about Terrebonne Parish is that it has so many wetlands. They're habitat for fish and wildlife, they clean water for us, they help us with storm surge and waves and things like that. Wetlands in Louisiana and in Terrebonne are in trouble. In fact, we're ground zero for wetland loss.
Several decades ago, the United States Congress passed the Coastal Zone Management Act of 1978. The Coastal Zone Management Act seeks to protect coastal resources within the defined Louisiana Coastal Zone. For Terrebonne Parish, the Louisiana Coastal Zone encompasses the entire parish. Coastal use permits are permits that allow us to monitor and regulate activities that could be damaging to our fragile and limited coastal resources.
Now, as a homeowner or a business owner, that doesn't mean to say that you can't touch them. That doesn't mean to say they're totally off limits. But what it does mean is that if you are going to do something that affects a wetland, then you really need to fill out a little bit of paperwork before you go ahead and do it.
Some typical activities that do require permits are construction of wharves, camps, fishing piers, boathouses, bulkheads. There are some exemptions, such as single-family dwellings, areas that are above 5 feet in elevation, and some areas that are currently within a forced drainage levee. And although single-family dwellings are exempt, some aspects that go along with a single-family dwelling, such as a driveway, may not be exempt. But it's very important to contact our office to ensure that you do fall under one of those exemptions before beginning any work.
Don't get your contractor out there and then think about it. Call somebody in the parish, find out what's allowed and what's not allowed, and then you'll be in a much better position to be able to plan your project.
We recommend that residents also contact our office before beginning driving any pilings or excavating any sorts of sites like ponds or borrow pits, or before filling with either rocks or dirt. Prior to the Coastal Zone Management Act being adopted, many residents just took it upon themselves to dig smaller canals called trenasses on their property, thinking that it was going to have little to no effect, but now many of those are very large bodies of water.
Got the permit, gonna be frying up fish in no time.
Filling out a permit application does not necessarily mean you will obtain a coastal use permit. You must wait until after you've received your permit before beginning construction. It's very important that an applicant receive all necessary permits before beginning any work. An applicant may need to acquire a building permit from the parish or a letter of no objection from the Public Works Department, as well as other permits from state and federal agencies, including the Corps of Engineers and the Louisiana Department of Environmental Quality. Coastal use permits are obtained through the Department of Natural Resources. Coastal impact certificates are the parish's way of being able to monitor what occurs within the coastal area in Terrebonne Parish. When an individual or a business is looking to apply for either a coastal use permit or a coastal impact certificate, the first step would be to either go online to our website or to come into the office and obtain the permit documentation. Our permits coordinator can help a resident or a business owner fill out the application and ensure that all the information needed is complete and available before submitting the application to both the Department of Natural Resources and Terrebonne Parish. The permit process could take as little as a couple of weeks to as long as a couple of months or years, depending on the complexity of the activities that are being proposed. After going through a review process, which may or may not include a 25-day public notice period, an applicant will either be granted or denied a coastal use permit and then be able to complete or reevaluate their activities before moving forward. Throughout the entire permit process, our staff is available to answer any questions. Our wetlands are crucial to storm protection and wildlife populations in Terrebonne Parish. Do your part to ensure they're protected.